got birthday greetings going out to Ronald Desiree Jr. of Girardal, celebrating his big day today. Greetings morning. And happy birthday. The man Major, sending good vibes to you and the missus. Hope all is well.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has defended government's housing program in which thousands of Dominicans have received free housing. Jamaica concerned over the increase in suicides, and President Donald Trump warns Hamas that they should accept the new peace offer. Well, good morning. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Are you tired of having the same boring breakfast every morning? Well, Monflake Oats is the healthy and perfect solution just for you. Make your breakfast exciting by adding Monflakes to your pancakes, parfait, or even milkshake. Monflake can be found in different sizes and available in granola, such as Caribbean or Hawaiian. Stop worrying about what to prepare for your breakfast, dessert, snack, or even dinner. Monflake is the best addition to your meal. Grab yourself a bag today.
Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc. and available island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this morning, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has defended government's housing program in which thousands of Dominicans have received free housing. On Monday, 21 families received keys for new homes at Scottshead.
And so, I do not make any apologies to anybody for building homes for people. None. Yes, I accept that we may need to improve on its management. Yes, I accept people may need to pay a little something. I accept those things. But we must never make our statements or condemnation or rejection of these policies because we're envious. We must be glad for people who benefit. And so, my friends, I'm so happy for you. Because I run this country, I manage the affairs of the country, I run my party, understanding that what I want for myself, my family, I want for every single person in Dominica. But let me say to you, my dear friends of Scottsdale, and those of us who will listen to me across the country, that there's no government, no parliament, no minister, no prime minister, no president can take you out of those homes. Title or no title, that is your house. But we have taken it to the next level and decided to provide titles to you to ensure that it can become yours, an asset that can transform your lives, that you can take your land paper, as we call it, and go to the bank and the credit union, put it down, and say, I want a loan to build a small business.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Meantime, Parliamentary Representative for Scottsdale, Denise Charles Pemberton, says the new housing will greatly change the lives of the 21 families.
The families here are ordinary, hard-working people who placed their trust in us. And we didn't just give them a roof. We lifted you to a new standard of living. Those resilient homes are valued at over $350,000. No more carrying buckets of water. No more families crammed into one small room. No more fear when heavy rain falls. Today is your new beginning. Celebrate your homes. Celebrate your peace of mind. Celebrate knowing that your children can finally sleep safe at nights. I remember the devastation after Maria, the fear, the uncertainty. Many still carry scars. Many still need help. But hear me well. Don't lose hope. Your Labour Party government will keep working until every family feels safe. Until every family moves to the next level. That is my commitment to you.
And that's Parliamentary Representative for Scottsdale, Denise Charles Pemberton. In some more news this morning, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt has confirmed the presence of the Regional Security System, or the RSS, in Dominica to support the police force in eradicating illegal firearms in Dominica. The Prime Minister made the announcement yesterday.
The priority fight for the country now is firearms, illegal firearms. And so we will not sit idle by and not seek to try all of the opportunities that are available to the state and the police to bring a sense of calm and normalcy to our country. While we recognize that the incidents we've had are targeted, but every life is important, and no one has the authority to take anybody's life under any circumstance. And so we have to be mindful of that. And so the regional security system was established to support each other in maintaining and enhancing the security of the region, but also the security of each member state. And so, on advice of the Chief of Police, the Minister of National Security, which is required, and the agreement has invited the RSS to join the police in our efforts towards eradicating the presence of illegal firearms in the country. But yes, the RSS is in Dominica, and the RSS is here to support the police in eradicating the presence of illegal firearms. If anybody who has it will take it from you. We have to do something about this. And one may say that it is just a few murders, but every country started with one, and it got to 15, and it got to 25, and it got to 67, and it got to 100, and it got to 600, and so forth. We are only a population of 70,000 people. But at the end of the day, for us as a country to curtail the gun-related incidents will require cooperation and the involvement of everyone in the country.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. A Wesley man, Jamal Robin, charged with the stabbing death of Delroy Lee of Marigot, is being taken to court this morning. The incident took place on the 27th of September. Meantime, Frederick Etienne of Salisbury has been charged with possession of an illegal handgun, ammunition, crack cocaine and 5 pounds of cannabis. That incident took place on Salisbury, or that incident took place at Salisbury on the 26th of September. The charges will be read to Etienne in court this morning as well. The late Ted Daley has been described as a great Dominican who was loved by many. Well, Daley, who worked at DBS Radio for close to 4 decades, passed in St. Croix on Sunday at the age of 76. Sports commentator Ozzie Lewis hosted a sports program with the late Ted Daley on DBS Radio.
The news of Ted Daley's death was extremely shocking to me. Ted Daley and I go back, I think, way back more than 50 years. I think maybe about 60 years. I knew Ted since I was going to grammar school, and he was a schoolboy as well. And we've always been very good friends. Of course, we both love sports, and he was a sports fanatic. Ted knew every detail, every statistic of any sport going on, whether local, regional, or international. He prided himself on being able to have discussions on sports. In fact, we had a sports program when he was on DBS called Sports Interaction. So a very popular radio program. Ted would call me about 7 on a Monday night, and we'd speak for about an hour just discussing sports. So a very popular program called Sports Interaction. And apart from that, Ted Daley, since he migrated, we've always been in touch, and really a tremendous loss. I mean, he was obviously one of the most unforgettable characters at DBS or local broadcasting ever produced. And he was a master DJ. I think he was loved by almost everybody, and he'll be greatly missed. He was great is a great word, and Ted Daley will be described as a great Dominican. I will miss him tremendously.
And that was the voice of sports broadcaster Ozzie Lewis. Regional journalist Peter Richards, who worked with Daley during his time at DBS Radio, remembers him as a very knowledgeable person with an infectious laughter.
I was extremely stunned when I got the report on Sunday of the passing of Ted Daley, who was among the many colleagues I had the opportunity of working with at DBS Radio in Dominica when I lived there. He had this infectious laugh, and his shows in the afternoon was among the best in the Caribbean. And of course, Ted would know every single taxi driver number. That's how he would start off his show. I could still remember him. And as a St. Lucian with a Dominican father from Grand Bay, he welcomed me to DBS Radio and the newsroom with the tagline, The West Indian. I think now he has gone to join other DBS colleagues who have passed on to the other side, like Ferdinand Frampton, Michael Bugs Peters, Michael Bruni, Felix Henderson, Ken Richards, Biggie Johnson, Harry Royer, and Shamin Green Brown. Very knowledgeable person. And he always used to say, you have to remain fit. And like I said, I was really shocked because I had listened to him just recently on the Saturday morning show with Ivana, and it really came as a shock.
Regional journalist Peter Richards. Veteran journalist Tim Dura says Dominica has lost another icon in radio broadcasting.
Undoubtedly was one of the most popular DJs of our times. And I think that it became possible for Ted to achieve that sort of success because of his knowledge of music. He knew a lot of songs, and he was able to play a variety of songs that appealed to a wide cross-section of the society. And also he had this remarkable ability to remember things. He had a fantastic memory. And so he was able to relate to people on a one-to-one basis. And he was just very lively, very knowledgeable in terms of the music. And he had this bubbling personality, that drew people to him. So we have lost another icon in radio broadcasting, particularly in the area of announcing as a DJ, in the passing of Ted Daley. And I believe that he has been the most authentic disc jockey in Dominica over the years.
A veteran journalist Tim Dura. District festivals are set to begin this weekend as the 2025 Independence celebration gains momentum On Friday, the 47th anniversary of independence was officially launched, and a street parade on Saturday marked the start of the celebrations. But Chief Cultural Officer Urson Matthew says the official parade on Saturday lived up to expectations.
On Friday, the 2025 independence season was officially declared open, and on Saturday we hosted the official opening parade. Must say that it was well received by the public. People turned out in large numbers, dressed with their touch of Madras, and they were not disappointed. So many different aspects of our culture on display. Cuisine with the Watto float and live cooking, traditional and creative dance on the streets of Roseau, Ching Ping, Drumming Assam, Steel Pan, Lapo Kabwit, Stilt Walkers, the Market Vibes float from Dexia, Big Bottom Ladies, Corporate Partners, Cadet Corps, Steel Pan, Bouillon, and so much more. I just want to thank everybody who took part in one way or the other, and that's just the start of the season. So stay tuned, we have a lot more to come. West and Southwest District Festivals coming on Saturday, Southeast and East on Sunday, as we continue to celebrate 47 years of progress and purpose.
And that's the Chief Cultural Officer, Urson Matthew. Let's head into news from the region this morning. The Jamaica Police Force says it wants to draw national attention to what it described as a concerning trend in suicide cases recorded across the island this year. According to the police, between January and September of this year, a total of 44 suicides were recorded compared to 53 cases for the same period last year, representing a 16.9% year-on-year decline. It said that the overwhelming majority of suicides remain among young males. However, there are indications that suicides among women, while still relatively low, may be edging upwards. The police said that coordinated action is urgently needed to strengthen community resilience, provide counseling and support services, and respond effectively to vulnerabilities that may be driving these increases. And on the international scene, Hamas is reviewing a Gaza peace plan announced by U.S. President Donald Trump in the White House on Monday. The 20-point plan includes an end to fighting, the return of the Israeli hostages, and an international board of peace to help run Gaza, which would include the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisted that the plan does not mean that Israel will support a Palestinian statehood. Donald Trump, who announced the plan alongside Netanyahu, says that if Hamas does not accept, he will give Israel, quote, full backing to do what you have to do, end of quote. Well, that's the news. Let's recap the headlines. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has defended government's housing program in which thousands of Dominicans have received free housing. Jamaica concerned over increase in suicides, and President Trump warns Hamas that they should accept the new peace offer. That's the news. Stay tuned for sports.
Yummy. Yummy. Looking for something sweet, chewy, delicious, or even crunchy? We've got you covered. Mars and Wrigley's products are the perfect pick for all your sweet tooth cravings. Available in M&M's, Twix, Milky Way, Snickers, Skittles, and even gummies. So next time your cravings are at an all-time high, choose Mars and Wrigley's.
Available at Fine Foods Inc. distribution or your favorite supermarket island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD. A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Well, welcome to the morning sports. Let's bowl off with cricket news. The West Indies T20 captain Akil Hussain says the young players on the West Indies team have to use the current Nepal series as a wake-up call. Well, his comments after Nepal's commanding 90-run win over the West Indies in the second T20 yesterday. This is Nepal's first series win over a Test nation. And the West Indies, they are feeling an inexperienced team on the tour with 6 players making their debut. But Hussain says that the players have to show that they are ready for international cricket.
It's just about understanding really fast that this is international cricket. You know, I said this to the boys last game, and I mean no disrespect to the opposition or anything like that. But I think if you're trying to benchmark yourself in international cricket and you can't deal with these situations and challenges, then you really have to sit back and look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you really international material, or are you really putting in the work to be at this level and challenge yourself and be successful as well?
Commiserations, Akil. We'll see you back here.
And that's the West Indies T20 captain Akil Hussain. Well, he says that the Nepal team should not be underestimated.
Coming up against an opposition who has been together for 4 or 5 years, you're definitely going to have your work cut out. These guys know their players inside out. They know they've played in multiple situations, even though people may think they're a small team. But when you come up against a force that is totally together like that, you know you have to play good cricket. I mean, coming on this tour, our name speaks for itself, West Indies. And you know, when you're coming up against Nepal, everyone thinks, you know, it's a walkover. But with that being said, I think once you cross that rope, that is where the real cricket starts. It's not about names. It's not about your past stats. It's about what you do. It's about how you read the conditions and how you adapt to the situation and play the game.
Well, that's the West Indies T20 captain Akil Hussain. Well, the West Indies will be in action again this morning as they look to salvage some pride against Nepal. Remember, they're already down 2-0 in the 3-match series. The third T20 is set to get underway at 10:30 this morning. The West Indies looking to salvage some pride against Nepal. Who would have ever thought that our cricket would have reached to that level? Well, some more bad news for the West Indies. Have they been dealt another major blow ahead of the upcoming Test series with India, with the fast bowler Alzarri Joseph being ruled out of the series due to a lower back injury. Well, the West Indies are already dealing with the absence of Sharma Joseph, who was ruled out with an injury last week. Joseph had complaints of discomfort in his back, and scans revealed a degeneration of the previously resolved lower back injury. Well, the West Indies have named Jediah Blades as his replacement. Blades will join the team following the ongoing series against Nepal. Jason Holder declined selection as Joseph's replacement for the series, citing a planned medical procedure. Well, West Indies head coach Darren Sammy says not having Alzarri Joseph and Sharma Joseph is a big blow.
Yeah, Sharma is a big blow. You know, watching him play in the CPL final and watching him bowl 145, you know, I was really hoping that he would be here. So again, it's a big blow for us. And, you know, just what he did, what he's done in Test cricket, how he bowled against Australia. You know, he was our leading wicket taker and he was the go-to man for Captain Roston Chase, you know. But yes, that's something we can't control. Yuan Lin, young fast bowler, tall, had a good first-class season. Very talented. The work we saw him put in during the camp in Barbados before the Australia series, and during the Australia series, Ravi Rampal been working very closely with him. And yeah, he's not a Shomar Joseph, but he has an opportunity to create his own legacy, when he gets an opportunity. But yeah, look, our bowling lineup over the last series took 60 wickets in 3 test matches, and you don't win test matches if you can't take 20 wickets.
And that's the West Indies head coach Darren Sami. Well, the first test match against India gets underway on Thursday. Darren Sami says that the team is still motivated by the New Zealand results against India.
Of course, it's a motivation. I mean, let's not take it for granted. India is very difficult to beat at home. We are aware of that, but like I told the guys in our little squad meeting yesterday, the mindset determines the skill set. If you come here with the attitude that, we're playing against India and we can't win, then we're already defeating the purpose of us being here. The mindset must be a winning mindset. And yes, we've studied all the things that New Zealand did right, the roles that were played, the different areas that they bowled, and the way the batsmen, the skill set required, and that was successful against India. So yes, we will take inspiration from all of that, but I think the biggest inspiration comes from within our own self, the belief that we are here to compete and win. Something that has not been done, like I said, a long time, but that doesn't defeat the purpose of us coming here in this Test Championship cycle looking to win cricket games.
And that's the West Indies head coach Darren Sami. In some more sports this morning, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has announced plans for the construction of an Olympic-sized swimming pool in Dominica. The Prime Minister says government intends to include the pool as part of the athletics track facility, which will be constructed in Point Round. The Prime Minister says that government is to transform the area into a major sporting centre.
Because what we're seeking to do is to have a master plan developed for that area. And part of the master plan will be to include an Olympic-sized swimming pool as well. And so do it properly. And so we're engaging a architectural/engineering firm who will give us that comprehensive master plan. So that obviously the first phase will be the setting down of the track and the associated amenities for the track and field. And simultaneously with that, we will also build the Olympic-sized swimming pool, and to turn that area into a real sports center enough, and look at other sports that we can position there. Even the issue of accommodation for athletes who may come from regional tournaments and able to reside there during the tournament. So there are a number of things that we're looking at in this. And so I'm hoping that very soon we can share with the public the master plan for this area and advise you on how we're going ahead of it. So I have directed the Ministry of Sports to step back a bit and to do it better than how they were proposing to do it in terms of the planning. And let's come up with a master plan on this so that we avoid any problems and issues. So rather than us looking at a narrow part of the development, let's look at master plan. We will not have all of the money to do everything at one time, but as you know what you need to do there and what you will have to do there and the associated costs, so that you can program yourself much better and people can journey with you in that particular exercise.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Meantime, Mr. Skerrit has announced that the tennis court at High Street has been resurfaced. There were concerns with the quality of the work done on the project, which is being funded by Pan Am Sports.
But it has been resurfaced completely. As you know, there were 2 courts originally, so you'll have 2 courts there. It will be marked soon. The lights have been ordered. They will take some time to get there because the lights have been there are not for that purpose, but you'll have lights specifically for hard courts and tennis courts in particular. So that's good news for not only because this is not only for the city of Roseau, but for the entire country. As you know, this was the premier facility for tennis in Dominica, and the idea is to bring this back and also add additional things to it where the tourists can come, can get tourists off the boats and they can go and play tennis there and they can pay to use it and they'll buy food and they'll buy coffee and they'll have people selling the crafts and turn it into a nice little cultural center.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. And the Julius Timothy Independence Domino League got off to an exciting start last weekend. Baghdad Brutal Forces, Brigady Stars, they were among the winners in the opening round of matches.
What an opening round of exciting matches in the Julius Timothy Domino competition last weekend. Baghdad got the better of White City in the Grand Four base teams. Final scores, Baghdad 3,028, White City 2,572. Brutal Forces from Grand Bay destroy Itasi Stars. Final scores, Brutal Forces 3,018, Itasi Stars 2,179 points. Warriors from Mari got hammered non-players from Casibus. Final scores, Warriors 3,014, non-players 2,210. Roadblock from Tibu was no match for Badside from Mao. Final scores, Badside 3,025, Roadblock 2,396. Brigady Stars got the better of West Coast Credit Union, Jerry Adrian Valiance. Final scores, Brigady Stars 3,025, Valiance 2,296. And the match of the weekend was played between BS Stars from Anzime and NATO Full Effects from Riverside. In the end, it was BS Stars winning by 95 points in a hard-fought victory. Final scores, BS Stars 3,014, Full Effects 2,919. Delvin Esprit reporting.
I want to say thanks to Delvin Esprit for that report. That takes us to the end of the DBS Morning Sports. More sporting highlights for you at 11 o'clock and, of course, at 1:28 during the 13:15 news. Until then, I'm Gavin Richard saying good morning.
Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
DBS News. Accurate, up-to-date, professional. We bring you the news of the nation via 3 newscasts, Monday to Saturday at 7 a.m. The DBS Major Morning News, 1:15 p.m. Your lunchtime news bulletin, and at 6 in the evening, the DBS Evening News. Call us at 448-4302. Listen on www.dbcradio.net. Don't forget to like our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/DBS Radio. Stay on top of the nation's news with your nation station, DBS. It's now 7:33 here on Your Nature Isle. The time made possible compliments of the good folks of Auto Trade. Auto Trade's newest Changan Hunter is here. Book your test drive today and smart your future. Coming up shortly, we bring you your morning's weather report. Just before we do so, we'd like to remind you of your Kalinago word of the day for today, and that's ibeti or ikali, and that's thigh in Kalinago. Ibeti or ikali. Ibeti, I-B-E-T-I. Ikali, I-K-A-L-I. Both of them mean thigh in Kalinago. Join us tomorrow morning, God willing, here on your nation station for another edition of your Kalinago Word of the Day, made possible. Compliments of the good folks of FRS Express Diesel. Up next, your morning's weather report.
Make weather information a part of your daily life. Listen to the weather report after the morning news